Here we are. We're starting the show. We had to start again because Crandor randomly left, and here's Chuck Crandor about.
Yeah, we had to restart. We did this whole intro once, and now we're doing it again.
Sorry, because Rob in the other intro did like beautiful opera.
Beautiful opera. Yeah, it was really nice. Yeah,
and you ruined it.
I ruined it, but I mean, you ruined a lot of things. So
send that only. Just send just that video.
Just upload just that. I could actually. It's like a bonus thing.
I guess.
So hey, welcome to the podcast. First things first. All right, we're getting right into business. No goofing around. The Jets have a new head coach.
They have a new head coach. Take it away, Rob.
So I actually don't know exactly how to pronounce. Is it Robert Sala?
I think so. I don't know either, but I think I've heard people say Sala.
I've heard Sala as well. I believe it's Robert Sala. I'm not sure how he pronounces it.
It's kind of like a salad, you know?
Yeah. Well, actually, so a couple of things.
Okay.
Robert Sala.
Yep.
He was the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. Now, we talked about previously with the Jets that I'm not ready to be optimistic until they go 3-0, right? And that 3-0 was like 1, firing Adam Gase, 2, hiring a good coach. Now, here's the thing with Robert Sala. Like, I haven't heard anyone say a single negative thing about him.
Yeah.
Like, literally no one. In fact, everyone only says positive things about this dude. And
but is that a good or a bad thing?
Well, so now I don't know. And here's the other thing is that I don't know. So he's a defensive coach.
Right. Okay.
I really didn't want one of these.
All right.
The reason that I don't want a defensive coach is, well, one, because I've had that my entire fucking life. And as you notice, we've had the worst offense in football for like almost every year for forever. And it sucks. And that might be in the future for us again. Maybe not, because he's bringing over some 49ers offensive people, like one of the LaFleur brothers.
Yes.
Crendor's head coach, Matt LaFleur, who is now going to the conference championship game, is obviously head coaching the Packers, and another LaFleur, I think it's
Mike LaFleur.
Mike.
You got Mike, we got Matt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah. So anyway, so he's coming over. And now here's the other problem with the defensive coach, right? So say he does really well. Like, what if LaFleur does great with whoever? Like what if it's Darnold next year, or a rookie, or
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun fucking Watson, because that could happen. If it's one of them, and he does really well, you know what happens when you have a defensive head coach and a good offensive coordinator? The offensive coordinator gets hired and becomes a head coach. And then well, who knows? Maybe the next one's good too. And then if he's good, bye-bye. And see, that's the problem with having a defensive head coach, in my opinion, in the NFL. But again, apparently this dude's great at everything. Like, he's a great at everything kind of guy. And apparently everyone loves him, loves working for him, working with him, playing for him and stuff. He's also apparently the first Muslim American head coach in the NFL, I believe. Yeah. So that's a thing.
Now, is he great? Is he great in everyone's opinion because Adam Gase is a great guy from Dan sort of way, or is he great as in like accredited sources of greatness sort of way?
I will say that I think Dan also mentioned Robert Sala and said he's a great guy.
Okay.
If you go back and listen to that episode, I think he did mention him.
So
Dan might know him. That's either a good or a bad thing. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, he did say the same about Adam Gase, right?
That's what I'm saying.
So,
He did.
Yeah, that's ominous. That's certainly ominous. I will admit.
I will say, like, he seems like what the Jets might need. They just need like a motivational, like, hey guys, I'm like, we're not Adam Gase anymore. Like, let's get this thing going.
You know what he seems like is, at least from, I haven't really watched too much about, like, I haven't paid too much attention because I don't want to get optimistic yet.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I don't want to get until we go 3-0. I do not want to get optimistic about the Jets, so I'm not buying in. I'm not watching interviews. I'm not reading about his fucking life and getting emotionally invested. No, none of this shit until like I'm sure I can comfortably be hopeful. And but from what I've seen, at least, like from the pictures, he seems kind of like almost like a Rex Ryan kind of guy, like a motivator, kind of like players coach type of dude. And like, I mean, hey, Rex was great for us, you know. Like I think it's great to have a coach that players want to play for.
Yeah.
And if he's a good defensive dude, then great. Now the other thing though is his record for his defenses, from my understanding, isn't actually that great. Like, it was good one year, and then the other years it just like wasn't really.
Well, I mean, this year they were injured a lot.
Yes, but then he's been there for like 4 years, right?
Yeah. I think when he got there, the 49ers were kind of ass. So it just took him a while to get it going again. Right?
That's true, yeah.
49, because the 49ers seasons, yeah, they were like not that great 4 years ago. Like, we look back at them. Like, if you remember last year when we said, like, oh, the 49ers, like, they weren't very good in, 2018 they were 4-12. In 2017 they were 6-10.
Actually, so it is true that the previous defenses were bad, but I'm reading an article now, and it got progressively better up into 2018 when they did really well that year. And and then or 2019 or whatever. And then obviously this year it went bad because of injuries and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, it like it got better under him over the years, which is, I guess, that's good.
Yeah. So I mean, you can at least have some hope that they did something right, because they could have went a lot of worse direction.
Yeah. And actually, one of the things that he's doing defensively is the Jets, for the first time in, I think, my lifetime, are moving to a 4-3 base defense.
Oh,
which is cool.
That is.
I mean, we should have been for a while.
And even a lot of teams that play 4-3, they still play, like, they'll still mix it up with like 3-4 and other sets and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, base defensive sets doesn't really mean anything in the NFL anymore, because I mean, teams play in nickel like 70% of the time. So
yeah,
like, people aren't really playing, like, the base set is nickel.
Yeah,
for like everyone.
That's true.
But yeah, no, I mean, in case people don't know, the difference between 4-3 and 3-4 is that 4-3 is you have 4 people on the defensive line and 3 linebackers, and then 3-4 is 3 people on the defensive line and 4 linebackers.
Yeah. But I mean, you could play nickel both those ways too, because you could play nickel with 4 linemen, 2 linebackers, or 3 linemen, 3 linebackers.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of weird things.
It's one of those things where, like, at the bar, nobody really cares, but when you're talking to, like, loser sports nerds, like, are they playing the 3-3-5 or the 4-2-5?
Yeah. And it's also mostly just because, like, I know that you. and to be honest, like, most people are only aware of that because they've played Madden and have
well, there were some other head coaching hires, actually. The Jaguars hired Urban Meyer, the former Ohio State guy, who apparently is kind of a dick.
He is.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if I like him, but that's the Jaguars, and I don't know if I like them anyway, so I really don't care.
Well, it's going to be the Jacksonville, or rather the London Trevor Lawrences. So,
once they move across the pond, be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's hard to root for someone that's got a history of, like
It's the
abuse.
Jaguars. Who cares about?
Yeah, it's the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they might. I mean, here's the thing: if everyone in the NFL, because everyone in the NFL is just like circle jerking about this dude coming out of college, Trevor Lawrence, and saying he's going to be like the second coming of Jesus, right? So if that is the case, then the Jaguars should theoretically be in the playoffs next year.
Playoffs.
They should. Yeah, I mean, they've got wide receivers. They got a running back. Like, they've got some pretty solid skill positions. They just need probably like linemen.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like they've got like a lot of draft capital, and I mean that's the thing, right? Is that like when you say he's going to be an Elway, Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning type of guy. Although Peyton's first year, did they go to the playoffs? I think they did actually, didn't they?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
I know Luck did.
Let's see. They said rank these quarterbacks generational prospects: Elway, Manning, Andrew Luck. So I guess those were like the big generational. I guess RG3 almost was up there. He's kind of like the Justin Fields, I think, of the draft, right? Because like RG3 was still like very highly up there. It's just, Andrew Luck was like, whoa. And now both actually RG3's still playing. He's got released by the Ravens, but I mean, he played. But yeah, well, he should be like a top tier starting quarterback for him, like for years. So
yeah,
we'll
the Falcons poached the former Saints assistant GM now, Terry Fontenot.
Yeah, Falcons hiring from the NFC South, and then they also got Arthur Smith as their head coach from the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, and
I said kind of looked like Adam Gase's brother or something. Like he has that kind of same look to him. I don't want to put him in that category because I don't want to insult him by putting him in the Adam Gase category. But I just
he's got. I mean, you ever see those deep fakes on the internet? It looks like if you took Adam Gase's face and you attached it to like Ben Shapiro's head.
Yeah, it kind of does. But like, somebody that doesn't know how to do it very well did it.
Yeah. Like every now and then it kind of glitches out and like you see the original face there. That's kind of Arthur Smith's face.
Yeah.
Arthur Smith, that's Flower, right?
Flower?
Flower?
I think so. Oh, no.
Flower.
I'm thinking of like
What?
King Arthur Flower because I'm dumb.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Or also, perhaps I was thinking of Fiddlin' Arthur Smith. He was an American old-time fiddler and a major influence on the old-time and bluegrass music genres.
Rob?
I don't understand. I don't understand.
Actually, one thing that I did want to mention before we moved away from the Jets was the fact that Deshaun Watson might actually get fucking traded to the goddamn Jets, and that might actually happen. Like that legitimately could happen, and actually Vegas puts us on as the best odds.
I thought the Dolphins were best odds.
Oh, the Dolphins are just ahead, like they're just behind us.
So I mean, the big thing with the Jets is like you have how many draft picks you got?
We have 4 firsts over the next 2 years.
Oh wow, okay, so you got plenty, and then you got Darnold you can trade because they want a quarterback. While the Dolphins also have like as many draft picks, and they have Tua.
Yeah,
and so I mean, it's
amazingly they want to trade.
I mean, if you want to trade for Deshaun Watson, I would gladly trade Tua for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you can risk this guy who's like, all right, he might be pretty good, to like, oh, this guy's already like an MVP caliber quarterback.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you have the ability to pull that off, like you have to do it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like even look at this upcoming week. You look at all the quarterbacks playing. It's literally Mahomes, Allen, Rodgers, and Brady. It's like there's no like mediocre quarterback play in there.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah, no, I mean, it's the tightest races between either us or the Dolphins, and to be honest, like if if he came to us, it would be bad for the Dolphins. Don't get me wrong.
Mm.
But if he went to the Dolphins, it would be way fucking worse for us than it would ever be for them, because again, Tua is like probably pretty good, but like the rest of our team is fucking made of trash. They almost made the playoffs, you know, like we are literally inside of the dumpster. So like if our division is Josh Allen and Deshaun Watson just shitting on us for the next 20 years, I don't think I couldn't take it. But alternatively, the Jets could get Deshaun Watson, and fucking imagine
they could also take Josh Fields.
Oh, there's a lot of here's the thing, right? And this is the 3-0 situation, right?
Mm.
What happens at QB? I don't know. And what happens at QB determines what happens at the draft, because you know, maybe we don't get Deshaun Watson, and then it's a question going into the draft. Are we sticking with Darnold? Because they're not going to tell us. Are we sticking with Darnold, or are we going to take Fields?
Or Justin Fields, not Josh Fields.
Yeah, Justin Fields.
Yeah.
And frankly, I don't know. I haven't looked into Justin Fields. I don't know. My inclination is that he's whatever it is. I don't think he would be enough of an upgrade over Darnold, probably. But I mean, unless he's really, really, really good. But like Darnold is also 23, so
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's a question going in.
I mean,
do we get Deshaun Watson? Do we stick with Darnold? Do we pick up a QB in the draft? I don't know. I'm not sure. All of those things could work out well, I think.
I think the answer is you get Deshaun Watson.
I would say number one is you go for Watson, right? I feel like that's the top play. I think number two is it's kind of true. If you like scout Justin Fields and you determine he's got the chance to be like a top 15 quarterback, I think you take him, right?
Yeah, probably.
And then if you still think Darnold has it, though, like you are 100% confident, then you probably try to trade down and just get assets around him. But I don't think it's a terrible situation to be in. Like, I think the Jets are actually in a pretty good situation here.
I do too. I mean, it's weird. I mean, again, I don't want to be optimistic, but if everything plays out right, this could go really well. And look, we have a lot of trade assets, so like we can put together like a good and by the way, it was on the Jets subreddit because, you know, obviously the whole Jets subreddit is fiending over this news about whether or not we might get Deshaun Watson to come to New York. But he liked on Twitter, he liked a news article that said that the Jets need to put together a trade package to get Deshaun Watson in the building. So it's just like, oh fuck, is it happening? Is it fucking happening, dude?
Rob might explode if it happens.
Yeah, I would. And also, I just want to say, I am so sorry to fucking Texans fans.
Oh yeah, that's just
happening.
It's actually funny because like they just had James Harden like leave in basketball, and now it's like now your NFL player wants to leave too. It's just everybody wants to leave.
Houston franchises are ready to be last again for the next, except for maybe the Astros for the next like 10 years, I would say.
Which, by the way, it's actually insane. The Florida sports are like dominating you have like the Buccaneers in the championship game. The Tampa Bay Lightning were the Stanley Cup champions. Tampa Bay Rays were in the World Series. Like the Miami Heat were in the NBA Finals. Like what the shit, Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to balance out the craziness of Florida guy.
That's true.
We should move on to the games, though.
Oh, yeah. The other coach was Brandon Staley, the Rams defensive coordinator this year, is going to be the Chargers head coach.
Yeah, okay. That's weird.
Another defensive.
Two defensive coach hires.
Yeah.
That's odd.
And then the Lions are expected to hire Dan Quinn, the New Orleans Saints assistant head coach, who was actually the head coach for the Dolphins when someone got fired back then. I don't remember who it was, but he kind of looks like a Lion, so I kind of approve. Like he legit does. He looks like if he had a mane.
Get Dan Quinn, the Falcons guy, the guy who was the Falcons head coach.
No, he's Dan. Oh, wait, is it
He used to
Dan
be a
Quinn?
quarterback.
Dan. What the shit's his name? I just saw it. Lions. New head coach news. Dan Campbell. Sorry, Dan Campbell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, look up Dan Campbell. Dude looks like if he grew a mane, he'd be a lion. Like legit.
Oh no! News article is Dan Campbell might not be popular Lions choice, but he could be the right one. Whenever that headline is written, that means that he is not the right choice.
Well, it is the Detroit Lions, so like look at him. That dude looks like if he had a mane, he would be a lion.
Hey, he went to A&M.
Looks like fucking Bill Cowher, right?
Yeah, he kind of does actually.
A little bit from the side, yeah.
So, I mean, you know what? I'm for it just for that reason. Good for the Lions. I mean, can't be worse than Matt Patricia.
ESPN, Dan Campbell may not be the most popular choice, but could be the right one. YouTube, Dan Campbell is perfect for the Detroit Lions.
Unbelievable. People have differing opinions on the internet.
Good old YouTube experts like us. You should
Yes.
only listen to the experts.
Only
we are the
listen
ones
to
you
the
should
experts.
listen to.
So, speaking of experts, we had some football games. First up was a beautiful Green Bay Packer takedown of the Los Angeles Rams. Called it here. Didn't see a way the Packers would lose. Got a little crazy at the end there, but, they figured it out.
Congrats, coach. He beat Jared Goff.
We did. Hey, Jared Goff actually didn't do too bad.
He was 174 for one, coach.
Yes, which is usually better than Jared Goff plays. Cam Akers ran for 90 yards. He actually looked pretty good. They were without Cooper Kupp. Aaron Donald definitely was not 100%. And
he had to go out partway of the game, right?
Yeah, he definitely did. He got really frustrated. He was going against Elton Jenkins, who I think is actually our best offensive lineman. The dude has played every spot on the line. He's played left, right tackle, left, right guard, and center. And he allows like 0 sacks at all of them. Like, he's actually insane. Rodgers even talked about him on the Pat McAfee show, being like, I don't know how he does it. Dude's crazy. And he was getting in Donald's head because Donald was going one-on-one with him, which usually Donald's going to win any battle he goes up against, and he wasn't winning it. And he grabbed Jenkins' face mask and just like ripped it down. Like, you knew he was frustrated. And that was just that was a sign where I was like, oh boy, they're rattled. Like they're not happy. And then, oh my God, the beautiful play design. Devontae Adams goes in motion, and then Ramsey sets up with him on the line, and then he just runs back over, and he has to go all the way around the defense. And then by the time he gets to Adams on the other side, Rodgers just flings it for a touchdown. And the one Ram dude should have picked up Adams, but he just didn't. So Ramsey was just furious. He was like screaming. Oh my God, it was great.
Devontae was 9 for 10.
Yeah.
He targeted 10 times.
Yeah, and he still had 66 yards and touchdown on Jalen Ramsey. Although they did motion him around a lot, line him up in the slot and everything. But Lazard was the big dude here. Lazard actually dropped a touchdown. He should have had like 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards. But just a great game. Running game was the big thing. We ran for over 200 yards. Aaron Jones had like a 60-yard run to open the second half, 99 yards, 14 carries, and a touchdown. He also had some crazy spin moves in there. Jamal Williams, kind of like the underrated runner dude. He just comes in and just runs hard. Had 65 on 12, and then A.J. Dillon had 27 yards on 6, including a fumble where it bounced right to Rodgers, thank God, because that could have very easily turned the game.
It was that Aaron Jones run at the start of the second half. That was like that. That was the gouging blow. That was like it's over. Because it was kind of tight at the half, right? Like it wasn't like super tight. Like it was what 19-10.
Yeah. And so, in fact, they got that field goal before the half because the Rams failed to pick Rodgers off twice. Like, he had 2 pretty bad throws right before the half, and they just dropped both of them. And it would have been 16-10, and that probably would have been a lot more, I guess, motivational for them. Like, hey, we're only down 1 score. But instead, it's like, oh, we're down 2 possessions now.
Yeah, and so like, but here's the thing, like even like you're down 2 scores, but like it's barely 2 scores. It's 2 scores plus, like it's 1 score plus 1 point, right?
Yeah.
So like, but then when the second half opened up and Aaron Jones runs for 60 yards, it's like, all right, yeah, no, there's no, ain't no fight left. It is gonna be a grind.
Yeah. Big game for Rashaan Gary, who like last year was kind of a project pick, and he sat behind the Smith brothers, and this year PFF ranks him as the top edge rusher since week 16. Like, he is coming into his own, and he's just a big dude. He's 6'5", 278. It was like 10 quarterback pressures. He had a sack and a half this game. Like, paired up with the Smiths. Yeah, like, he was one of those players where, like, he just needed some time, kind of like a quarterback needs to sit, and he just got to sit behind the Smith brothers and learn, and then he's been coming into his own, and at the right time, too, because we need it in the playoffs. So, overall, great win. Sucks for the Rams because they were kind of banged up and everything, but hey, you know what? Good game. I like the Rams more than I like the 49ers and the Seahawks, so I'll give you that. And they beat the Seahawks, so you know what? Props to them. Yep. It's Invicta.
I said, yeah.
Oh, he said something else.
I think he was.
Also, can I just say that the Rams have a dude named John Johnson? I may have mentioned that before, but that's like my go-to fake name. I always use like, oh, it's John Johnson, but that dude's actually named John Johnson. I love it.
I am John, son of John. It'd be really funny if we still name people that way.
That would be. Also, Jair Alexander, huge game. He allowed one catch for -3 yards because he blew up a screenplay. Dude is awesome. Love Jair.
Here you go, Coach. You like this one. Did you know that Aaron Rodgers tied Hall of Famer Joe Montana for the second most playoff games with 250-plus passing yards and 2 passing touchdowns in NFL history?
Mamma mia.
He's tied with Montana now.
Imagine if he had a defense like Tom Brady had with the Patriots. That would have been awesome. Instead, he had the Mike McCarthy, Ted Thompson, patchwork defense that gave up 40 points a game, even though he'd score us like 35.
And here's one that'll really make you insufferable for the next podcast. The
boy.
Packers have tied the Steelers for the second most postseason wins in NFL history.
Woo!
36 postseason wins for the Packers.
Woo!
Who has the most? Is it the Patriots?
Probably.
Dead, probably.
And then finally, Aaron Rodgers has tied. Any guesses, Rob? Coach? He has tied blank for the most playoff games with 100% or 100-plus passer rating by a Green Bay player since 1950. You get one guess.
Tom Brady.
No, it's a Green Bay player, Rob.
Is it Bart Starr?
It is Brett Favre.
Oh, it is Brett Favre.
Aaron Rodgers has tied Brett Favre for 9 playoff games with 100-plus passer rating since a Green Bay player since 1950.
I guess
so he's now on par with Favre and Montana, which is crazy.
Damn. That's I forgot Brett Favre actually had a string of really good games because towards the end, Favre was just winging it like 6 interceptions against the Rams.
He was a meme by that point.
Yeah.
But like literally only with you guys. Then when he went to us and then to Minnesota, like he was killing it.
Yeah, except for the game against the Saints with the Vikings where he threw a pick to end the game.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he got the shit kicked out of him that game. Like, that was the Bounty Gate game, right? Like,
I think you're right.
Yep.
Fucked up.
So hey, you know what? We're moving on, and I'm happy about it. We get another NFC Championship appearance. I mean, I'm not going to complain about NFC Championship. Like, another one. I hope we win this one. While other teams are like, I'd like to get to one, please. Then we had the Bills beat the Ravens. Look at that.
What a surprise, said no one, because all of us literally picked the Bills to win this game.
I think the biggest surprise, the Ravens only got 3 points.
Yeah, that is kind of disappointing.
Yeah,
I mean, Lamar didn't he exit the game? I didn't watch this game entirely. Didn't he leave because he got hurt?
Exit the game, but right before that, he threw a pick 6 for 101 yards. Which apparently was his first interception in the end zone, like ever.
Yeah, that's right. He had that record, didn't he? He had no.
And the Ravens defense actually held up pretty good against the Bills. And Stephon Diggs, 106 yards and a touchdown, was the difference maker. So I'd say trading for him was very good because I don't think you win this game without Stephon Diggs in there.
I think they still win it, but not by as much.
I don't know. I actually think like the Bills of yesteryear, last season, like this team is like almost mostly the same besides Stephon Diggs, and then like now they're going to the championship game. Like I think he's a big piece. Big piece of
I
their.
will say that the Bills have an absolutely abysmal rushing game.
Oh yeah, it's garbage.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Devin
But
Singletary's like an all right runner, but they need like a real running back.
Yeah. Well, hey, now they're the type of team to be in the kind of position to kind of draft a running back in the first round.
That is true.
Man, that defense is starting to get scary.
Yeah, they're getting really good. It's gonna be fun watching that Kansas City Buffalo game. That's gonna be spicy.
Unless Mahomes doesn't play.
Yeah, that's true. Chad,
we'll get to that one in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. But I mean, man, if you're the Ravens here, like, where do you go?
You know, like I don't know. I feel like them getting to this game kind of feels like they were overachieving.
Yeah,
you know,
actually a little bit.
Like, I think they kind of like buckled down and pushed the end of the season and got wins, and their record and their playoff victories they weren't. I don't think they're built up enough to be in this game.
Yeah,
and I think that they will. Hopefully, they will be. I think Lamar needs more help on offense, though.
Yeah,
I think that's the main thing.
Well, on top of that, I mean, something else you got to consider is that he's been sacked 19 times in 4 career playoff games now. 19 times. It's almost 5 sacks a game in the playoffs. He needs better protection.
They really need a better offensive line, I guess what it comes down to.
Well, again, it's all offense for them. Like that's like their main issue is that they need help. Like this is what happened with whatchamacallit with Joe Flacco, right? For all those years is everybody was just like, well, we don't know if Joe Flacco is good or bad because he doesn't have any weapons. I mean,
well, one of the biggest things this year was the Ravens line. They had Ronnie Staley, who's one of their best offensive tackles, broke his ankle in November, so he's been out. And then, what's his name? Marshall Yanda, one of their best guards, retired. So like you had 2 just big holes right there, and now you got to fill that. Well, Staley will be back, but they definitely got to get some more offensive line help because if you do that, you can let Lamar run around and go crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and like getting, I think, a true number 1 receiver for Lamar Jackson would be great.
Because Marquise Brown or whatever, he's kind of, I don't think he's number 1. He's like more of just a speed guy. He kind of reminds me of like the Valdez Scantling, but just with better hands. Or something.
Yeah, he seems to me like a solid 2.
Yeah,
you know,
he's solid too.
He would be. I mean, he scored. He got 8 touchdowns this year. Don't get me wrong. That's fantastic. But I mean, I think he need like if he had somebody that defenses had to double cover, then he would do really well. You know.
Yeah.
Like right now, he's getting the main coverage, and I don't think it's not enough because it's everything on just him. Because like what other threats do they have? I think he needs like a tight end threat. He needs a running back threat too. I mean, really,
he really does. I mean, they got the running back
right here.
They got the running back by committee, but like they also
they just got rid of one, right? Like
they got rid of Mark Ingram, who I didn't realize was as old as I am. So that's pretty fun. So yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. Chiefs Browns.
It is what we thought it was.
We let them off the hook. Chiefs Browns. This game was actually pretty close. Browns had some chances to win it. They just didn't. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I
sad Browns noises. Actually, the Chiefs. Mahomes went out with a concussion, which he didn't even get hit in the head. He got hit in like the neck, and apparently it was a nerve thing. So people were like, "Hey, it's just a neck nerve." And I'm like, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
Like he couldn't even walk. Like he was wobbling.
Wobbled to get. Well, on the slow motion replay, what happens is he gets like grabbed, like well, not really even like kind of grabbed behind the helmet,
Mm-hmm.
and then like his head gets stretched like from behind, like he just gets
Yeah.
pulled. He's on a stretcher, and then that I mean, it looked like it would hurt.
Yeah, it does. I don't know. Like right now, I think the Bills got the advantage for this game, just because they're healthier and like I don't. If Chad Henne has to play, like they're not gonna win.
Yeah, which is why it's like a double bummer that the Browns didn't win this. You know, because
Yeah.
if Chad Henne has to be the fucking guy
Yeah.
to go up against the Bills, that would be. Because I think the Browns played really well in this game. It was like if they hadn't fucked up those like what was it like the last 2 downs or whatever, and managed to. I think they could have if they got the ball back. I think they could have done it, man.
Yeah. I think they also had a punt there at the end, which I think they were punting because they were like, "Oh, it's Chad Henne. We'll just punt back to him and get the ball back." And then the dude like ran for it on a 3rd and 14 and picked it up. Like what the shit.
He made some great plays actually. Like they let him bomb it on like his 3rd play, and then he on that bomb he did throw it like a 60.
Yeah. It's essentially a punt at that point. But yeah, I mean, the Browns, Chubb had 69 yards, 13 carries. Kareem Hunt, 32 yards and a touchdown on 6 carries. Baker had 204 with a touchdown and a pick. Like, they played well, but
I think that was the main problem for them is that they got antsy. Is Mahomes and the Chiefs, they were doing their Chiefs thing and they were rolling really hard. So like, and the Chiefs and the Browns were like in the hole, so they felt like they had to pass a lot early, and they were just like forcing passing like really early. Like Nick Chubb had like what 5 carries in the first half or something.
Yeah.
Which you know, I think if you're gonna beat the Chiefs, you gotta get Nick Chubb the ball. I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think they should have kept giving it to him, honestly. But hey, you know what? Grats to the Browns. They got a playoff win against a division rival, the big brother division, essentially. Playoff. And they played well in a divisional game against one of the best teams in football. So you know what?
Bright future.
Yeah, bright future, and no longer are they just the laughable Browns. So
nope. In fact, there's even a write-up on NFL.com that says who's destined to be the next Browns. One of them shows the New York Jets.
Oh, please, please,
please, sir, spare some crumbs. And then we had the Buccaneers Saints game. Yeehaw.
Yeehaw, coach. That is right. Down go the Aints. Suck it, Nolans.
I knew this was going to be the best day for Sinvicta beating the Saints in the playoff.
I mean, it's not just beating the Saints, right? It's like it's
destroying their franchise from the inside out. My God.
It's over.
I'm so, coach, if there was any doubt about the Sinvicta lock curse, it's real and here to stay. And by God, did it work in mysterious ways. Drew Brees, 3 interceptions. Although we did get a touchdown scored on us by Jameis Winston, but we never have to worry about him again.
They had to throw that one in there just for the memes.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were winning at the time, and I was like, surely that's a penalty, right? 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 No? Okay. I watched every single down, every single second of this game, and it was typical Tom to start off with on not only the Bucs, but like any Patriot team that he's had. Like they're slow to get out the gate. Like don't expect anything from the Bucs in like the first 2 quarters. It doesn't matter.
That actually used to be the Brett Favre thing. Brett Favre used to be really slow, and then he'd come out second half like winging it.
Yeah. But, the Bucs were able to stop Kamara, which I thought was incredible because, we needed to show that we still have the number 1 rushing defense in the league. I mean, everyone was on point. It really sucked that AB didn't really he didn't get to do anything in the game, but we didn't need him because, I mean, Brady threw to so many different receivers. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like the list just scrolls down on
Tyler Johnson. Scott Miller, Chris Godwin, Cameron Brate was the leading receiver.
Yep.
Wow.
No real big like breakaways. I mean, what was surprising was seeing Evans only with 1. But I mean, that's just because he spread the ball around so often. I mean, like he was just picking apart the Saints. I mean, it wasn't a big yard-tastic game, but it was good. I mean, Brady had 3 touchdowns overall, and the Buccaneers. I mean, the Buccaneers defense looking pretty good.
Yeah,
looking pretty good.
I'll say
incredible plays in the secondary.
I think the Saints lost this when they turned it over 4 times. 4 turnovers. Like, you had the 3 interceptions from Breeze and then the Jared Cook fumble on top of it. Just that really sealed it. Like, you can't turn the ball over 4 times in the playoffs. You can't do it. Playoffs.
Can't do it. Can't do it. You can't do it in Drew Brees' last game either.
Yeah. So apparently Michael Thomas was also playing injured. I don't know if you heard that.
Oh, no.
So apparently he has ankle surgeries coming up.
Oh, that sucks.
So he's going to have multiple surgeries. Apparently he played because he knew it was Drew Brees' last game and last year, so he just wanted to tough it out.
And boy, howdy, going 0 for 4.
Yeah, not the greatest.
Should have stayed on the couch there, buddy.
And they had Ty Montgomery. That's how I knew they were going to lose, because former Packer, great that fumbled against the Rams and lost us the game. You'll love to see it. So, you know what? End of an era. I mean, hey, Drew Brees, like, amazing stats, amazing years, but I think it was definitely time. His arm wasn't the same. He's still good, but just not great. And so I think that's why he wanted to go out too. Plus the injuries of like broken ribs and shit.
Yeah. Actually Brett Favre has talked about this. Like, he can still throw well. And I bet you Breeze probably could too if he wasn't, getting the shit kicked out of him, every play. And they should do something like that, like an old timers league where it's where you just can't hit the dudes,
you hurt my toe.
They just call it the National Retirement League.
Exactly.
It's the GFL, the geriatric football.
They just play flag football.
Yeah.
I'd actually watch that.
Seriously though, I think Drew Brees is a good guy. He's a great quarterback, and it will be nice not ever having to play against him ever again. But I'm looking forward to hearing him in the analyst booth. And man,
that's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm real happy that the Bucs beat the Saints. So Saints fans, this is your comeuppance for all the crap you've been talking to me for getting spanked in the last season here, with the Saints just destroying the Bucs. We won it when it mattered.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boom.
It's where's he? He's going to NBC, right?
CBS.
He's going to CBS as well.
I thought he was going to CBS.
He's going to NBC. CBS already has Tony Romo, so I think they're trying to make him like their Tony Romo, essentially.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, I mean, like, if he can do that would be great. I mean, he could alternatively be another Jason Witten and talking about pulling rabbits out of his head.
Well, I think a quarterback perspective is a lot better, right? Jason.
Hopefully, yeah.
I mean, quarterback's gonna be way more analytical about the game than a tight end.
I mean,
that's true. But I mean, one of the things,
Well, I was listening to Pat McAfee with Aaron Rodgers today, and him breaking down like one play actually just it sounded like he was doing quantum physics. It was like he was like, well, because there's a play where Rodgers was in his own end zone, the pocket's collapsing, and he just throws like a dart to Lazard for a first down, and Pat McAfee's like, dude, like, what are you thinking? Are you like, I'm gonna get hit? I gotta get rid of this ball. I gotta do this. He's like, no. So, like, I know they're playing the 2 deep safety. I knew one come down, so I was like, oh, Adams is going to go left, but he's going to go right, so I knew the thing was over there, so I didn't want to throw to them. Then I see Lazard running on the left, so I knew I had 2 seconds to do that, but I knew one guy was coming because the pocket collapsed from that side, and I saw him blitz on this thing, so he's doing this, and McAfee's just like, what the shit? So, like, and then right after he says all that, AJ Hawk's like, so, Aaron, what are you doing? McAfee's like, hold the fucking phone. You just said like all this shit, and I don't know what's going on. You just like glance over it. He's like, that was insane. And he's like, yeah.
It's QBs,
It really is insane. Like, you think of all that in a span of like 5 seconds.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, like, half of that eventually becomes just like second nature to them, right? Like, that's part of the reason that the veteran QBs can do things so like do those 2-minute drives so like matter of factly always score, because it's just like they just know. They've been in that situation like 100 times.
And then you play against like the same teams, the players, the coordinators. So you just learn their things. Like, oh, this is the Eagles dude. He just does this thing all the time. So watch out for that. And you just watch film and all. So yeah, it does become second nature. But it's gonna be a good week of football, I think,
so
especially the NFC Championship.
What's gonna happen to the Saints now? Like they're just like gonna explode.
They're not gonna explode the same way the Texans are.
Yeah.
But they've got a period of rebuilding, and dear Lord, because I know some people out there are already thinking it. Dear God, I hope they do not try to get Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Because they could try for it.
No, they definitely can't.
I don't think they'll get him. But
they do not have the draft capital to do that.
They could try to get Nickelodeon valuable player Mitch Trubisky onto their team. That's a possibility.
Mick Trubisky, yeah.
Mick Trubisky.
Trubisky.
He's the only MVP winner I know.
You know what? One thing that I actually wanted to say that we didn't mention in the Browns game was that one really controversial ref play where it was a helmet to helmet, and that caused the fumble, and then they reviewed the play and not decided because I guess technically it's the rule that those are not reviewable. So because of it, they basically reviewed the play, confirmed that it was a helmet to helmet, and then rewarded the player who gave the helmet to helmet.
And while we're on the topic of stupid NFL rules, can we get rid of this whole BS about if a player fumbles into the end zone, it gets given to the other team even though they recovered it? Even though the team that fumbled it recovered it? That is ridiculous. When they did that to the Browns, that just highlighted like, okay, this is the dumbest rule ever. So those of you who didn't see it, basically what happens is a Browns player was tackled going into the end zone for a score. He fumbled the ball. The ball rolled through the end zone of the opposing team, of the Chiefs. And because it rolled out of bounds, not only was that ruled a fumble, but the Chiefs it's ruled a touchback, and the Chiefs get it on their own 20. So you have a situation where the offense is about to score, they fumble, they not only lose the possession, but they basically have punted at that point. All because the ball rolled out of bounds. If that ball had rolled inbounds, like on like the half-yard line, it still would have been the Browns. They would have been able to score. But instead, this ridiculously stupid rule for the NFL says that it goes to the defensive team, which was the Chiefs. And that's got to be changed, because that is one of the dumbest rules outside of not being able to review head-to-head, helmet-to-helmet contact.
And important to note, if that silly thing didn't happen, the Browns would have won. That would have been the Browns going to Buffalo, right?
Yep.
I mean, and look, I'm going to be honest, it would have been a better game than fucking Chad Henne versus Josh Allen, if that's what we're going to have. But
yeah, I mean, the NFL and bad penalties. Who would have guessed it?
Yeah.
Imagine if they had something like, I don't know, a sky judge or something like that.
Or just like common sense, like a common like millions of people at home go, oh, well, then that's stupid. Like everyone at home knows, the commentators know, the fucking fans at home, everyone, people walking by looking at the screen go, oh, well, that's dumb. They shouldn't have that rule.
Like,
and yet the NFL is like, well, hey, rules are rules.
Like, you should just honestly be able to challenge anything you want, and like you only have limited challenges, but let it be anything. Like if it's a face mask that like changes the game, challenge the face mask, be like, oh yeah, he did grab it. Like, I don't know.
So here's the thing though, right? Like the last time that they tried to give anyone any amount of power over the refs, remember when they gave them the ability to, what was it, challenge pass interference or whatever, and then they never gave a positive one, like they only did it once out of like 40 times, so just basically rebelled against the system by just so that would probably happen too, because the refs are too powerful, I guess.
I mean, it boggles my mind that we have missed calls on reviewable plays. Like if I can see it sitting at home, if Mike Pereira can see it from New York, how is it possible that the headline judge down on the field looking at the same thing is missing it? It absolutely boggles my mind.
It's actually nonsense, right? Because it's literally like the rule in this case is the refs are reviewing a play, and their ruling that they come to is that it is not reviewable. they're reviewing it to decide it is not reviewable. What the fuck kind of nonsense?
Well, even
rule
even last week,
fucking Candyland house rules, like Chutes and Ladders shit. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, we had those
Anamuno
passes,
rules.
the clear fumbles that we can see last week.
Yeah, like the Wildcard weekend game, like that the Bills Colts. It was a fumble. Like everybody saw it was a fumble. His knee comes back up. He doesn't get touched, and they're like, I don't know.
Yeah, like what? They're hanging. There's too much of this BS about, well, the call on the field has to be indisputable evidence, blah blah blah. No, screw that. Who cares about the call on the field? Why don't you look at the friggin' video that shows you that it was a fumble?
Yeah.
If I can see it, you should be able to see it.
Yeah.
It's not an interpretation thing. It's not like it's a contextual. You weren't seeing all the angles. Dude, you could see it on the TV. I've got a big enough screen to see that
They've
was
got
a fumble.
8K cameras now. Like,
yeah.
You can see
And
it.
yeah, not to be that guy, but a lot of people got saved a lot of money in Vegas because of that call. Is all I'm saying.
I mean, they're going to have a hard time explaining away that the NFL isn't totally rigged from some of these calls.
That is true.
Let's move on to the power rankings.
Yeah, let's get some NFL power rankings.
Power rankings, here we go. Coach Crendor, yes, indeed. You may be thinking to yourself, how do we have power rankings on a week that we only have 4 teams left? Oh, friends, how wrong you are. Going with the top 4 of the NFL power rankings, NFL.com, starting with Rob.
The Browns.
Coach?
The Packers.
Yeah, Rob.
The Bills.
What? 2 strikes here, Coach. No, I'm kidding. It's
all right.
The Chiefs.
Yeah, and Rob for the dunk.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here we go. From the top to the bottom. Chiefs are 1. Packers have now moved to 2, leapfrogging the Bills, who slid down to number 3. The Bucs traveling all the way up for the thinnest dink of the week, going from 6th to 4th, with the Saints staying at 5. The Ravens have crashed hard, with the fattest doink dropping 2 spots now from 4 to 6. The Browns going up from 8th to 7th, and of course the Rams being at the lowly 8th position. Good job, Coach Crendor. Now, I have to read a couple of the write-ups here from Dan Hanses. Since we don't have any Jets to read, I'm going to read the Packers write-up as well as the Bucs, and we'll get the play-by-play commentary, analytical thoughts from Coach Crendor.
Yeah.
Starting with the Packers. The Packers are going back to the NFC title game for the 2nd consecutive year because their offense is ... just impossible, written in the italics.
That's neat.
To deal with. On Saturday, in a game where they weren't even operating at peak efficiency, the Pack rolled up nearly 500 of total yards of total offense in a 32-18 win over the Rams. Rodgers was barely touched by the LA pass rush while continuing to feast on the opposition with a host of play-action dimes. Rodgers was 8 for 10, passing for 98 yards in play action per next-gen stats, including the game-icing 58-yard touchdown strike to Alan Lazard in the 4th quarter. Rodgers plays in an offense that is perfectly centered to his strengths, and if you ask us, head coach Matt LaFleur doesn't get enough credit for finding the balance that's made Green Bay nearly unstoppable this season. Coach Crendor, your thoughts?
I'd agree with that, although he said they weren't, what did he say, flawless?
No.
What did he say? He said they're ...
Just impossible to deal with.
Oh, okay. Well, he was like, they weren't even playing
their offense is impossible to stop, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. Like, this is probably the best offense I've seen since early, 2014 or something. So it's been nice having an offense that I feel confident in because we actually have a balanced running and passing attack, which is crazy. It's great. And I think the biggest thing for the Packers, though, has been the defense is stepping up. The defense has only been allowing 18 points per game on average, which when you score 31 a game, that usually helps quite a bit.
Yeah. Thank you, Coach Crendor. Now going to the Buccaneers write-up here from Dan Hanzus on the NFL.com Power Rankings, Bible of the Internet. Sunday's win over the Saints should forever be remembered as the Devin White game. The second-year linebacker delivered a superstar performance, totaling 11 tackles, a key fumble recovery, and a game-swinging interception of Drew Brees in the fourth quarter for a 30-20 win that sent the Bucs to the NFC title game for the first time since the team's 2002 Super Bowl season. By the way, he was not actually included in the playoffs or the Pro Bowl voting, just saying, kind of snub. Tampa Bay's swarming defense turned 4 Saints turnovers into 3 touchdowns, wiping away all memories of the 2 regular season losses to New Orleans, in which Tampa Bay was outscored by 46 points. Quote, everybody always asks, what was our identity, Devin White said after the game. He continued, quote, we don't have an answer, but Coach B.A., Bruce Arians, had an answer. He said, we some MFers who are going to find a way to win the game, end quote. They sure did. And that does it for the write-ups and the power rankings. Back up to Coach and Rob in the booth for the pick'ems.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you, Sinvicta, for those power rankings. Always just a pleasure to read. So it's time for the Pick'em Conference Championship game.
Pick'ems.
So Sunday, 2:00 Central Time, the Tampa Bay at Green Bay will be happening. The Battle of the Bays. These teams used to be in the same division. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Now
that's why I don't like the Packers.
That's why I don't like the Buccaneers. Actually, I remember like those games with Warren Sapp and Favre going at it. Those were fun games.
Yep, and then Warren Sapp talking trash to what's his name, the coach.
Oh yeah,
He's like, put some pads on. Why don't you put some pads on? Big tough man, put your pads on. Scoreboard. Shut up, Warren.
And now it's rejuvenated with Rodgers and Donkey Kong Sue, who I still hate.
For
I don't stepping
like
on him with the Lions. There's so many great players. So it is supposed to be snowing. If the weather holds still here,
gonna be wild.
That would be wild. It would be snowing in about like 28, 29 degrees. So perfect playoff football weather. And,
Tom Brady would be in his element, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wouldn't. In that case.
Well, that's the thing.
We broke that curse a while ago, Rob.
I don't think the Buccaneers have played a cold weather game in like 3 years, actually. It's been a long time. Because I was trying to look it up, and the last couple of years they have not. The coldest they played was in Washington this year at like 42 degrees.
Ooh. That might be tough. I mean, that might be like, it might end up being the Brady and Gronk show that day.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, when it gets that cold and snowing and everything, like, you got to run the ball. Like, running the ball becomes essential because, like, you wear down the defense. Everyone's cold. You don't want to get hit because it's cold, and it hurts to get hit even more, and the ground's all crunchy, and throwing the ball in the snow and the wind and everything's going to be like, uh-oh.
So we'll just make one guy get hit really hard instead.
But it's honestly, it's gonna be a good. Everybody keeps being like, the Packers got blown out by the Buccaneers earlier this season. All right, well, guess what? The Saints blew the shit out of the Buccaneers earlier in the season too, and guess what? They lost. All right, so
38-10, coach.
Also, it was 10-0 at one time. The Packers were looking great at the end of the first quarter. All right,
and they didn't score a single point after.
I think here's the thing. Back then, Packers didn't have Alan Lazard. He was out. Devontae Adams had just come back. It was his first game back from injury, so he wasn't the same. It was just, and the defense wasn't playing that great. I think it was just a completely different team. And I think having tape and film and everything go over, it's going to be better. I don't think they're going to, blow them out or anything, but I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be like a 34-30 type game, I think. But I'm going to take the Packers because, it's me.
Yep.
In fact, I'm going to lock the Packers.
Oh! Well, Coach, based on your analysis and the fact that, it is true because it mirrors the Buccaneers' performance against the Saints, where the Saints blew out the Bucs and the Bucs ended up winning in the playoff games, whereas the Bucs blew out the Packers. But now here we are in the playoffs. My official lock of the week goes to the Green Bay
He's
Packers.
doing the curse.
Oh,
All right, he's
shit.
doing the
Let's
curse.
go,
Now,
Pack.
reminder.
Woo!
All right, last year. All right,
Woo!
he locked the 49ers for me in the NFC Championship, and they blew the shit out of the Packers. It is the curse fails in the NFC Conference Championship. I'm telling you right now,
Here
it's
we
not
go,
gonna happen.
Coach.
He's making a
Ready.
mistake. Its
Ready
powers
to
wane.
lock. Go Pack, cheeseheads all the way. Buccaneers cannot play in the snow. This is a solid victory, and this is surely not going to send the Buccaneers to be the first ever Super Bowl contender being hosted in their own stadium. Here we go, Pack. Here we go.
Oh.
Something. Shake it,
No.
Raji. State Farm. Favre.
See, this is difficult. There's too much. There's too many magical energies at work here that I'm not sure
A lot
what
of
to go with.
witchcraft.
Yeah, I don't know which magic is more powerful.
You just got to go with your gut. You got to go with your gut.
I'm gonna be honest. My gut kind of says Bucks, and the reason for that is I actually think that the Bucks are probably gonna have a tough time in the cold, and I almost expect them to lose because of that. But I also expect this world to be hellish, and I expect the Bills to be facing the Buccaneers in the
That
Super
would be
Bowl.
ironic.
And oh man, what kind of sweet hell would that be for Bills fans to make it to the Super Bowl and then lose to Tom Brady as a Buccaneer?
Well, here's the thing also. Last year, I really wanted the Packer-Titans Super Bowl, and that's how I knew it was going to be Chiefs-49ers, and it was. So this year, I really want the Packer-Bill Super Bowl, because I'd even if the Packers lost, I'd be like, I like the Bills. They won. So I know it's going to be like Chiefs-Buccaneers or some shit, and I'm going to hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Green
I'm gonna.
Bay Packers. Lock of the week.
You know what? Just because it's double for the Packers, I'll take the Bucks here.
All right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be bad with the Bills-Bucks. As long as the Bills win, I think I'm fine with whoever wins the champ. Listen,
You'll be mad at a Bucks win.
Listen, I'll be mad, but I've witnessed 3 straight NFC Championship losses. All right, I can't even have my feelings hurt anymore.
Nope. This is a solid Packers win. Go Pack.
Just listen, like there's one thing when you get blown out, it's just like God, just let it get over with. We lost. We're the worst team. But when you're like in Seattle and they're doing fake field goals and you're losing onside kicks and you're like, we're 5 minutes away from a Super Bowl, and you just watch the Seahawks and Pete Carroll chomp his gum as Russell Wilson does. That's just there's just something that just takes the life out of you after that.
Cannot. I'm telling you, Rob, if you needed even more proof, this universe will not allow the State Farm Bowl to happen. Can you imagine? Like, we're talking about Uncle Milty levels of hard-on proportions for State Farm if it's Rodgers versus Mahomes.
They want that so badly. The amount of money State Farm is going to shovel into commercials.
No,
oh my
it's
God.
not going to happen.
They're going to be
the
doing
universe
some,
won't allow it.
The referees are going to be like...
It would be like a whole thing. It would be like a whole movie-length ad like in between of Mahomes and Rodgers in between the
After
universe
reviewing the
will not allow
play,
it.
we have decided the Buccaneers have forfeited so that the Packers can go to the Super Bowl for State Farm. Woo!
Nope. Go Packers. Lock of the week, coach.
Hey,
Send
I
it.
will say, back in 2014, I wanted that Rodgers-Brady Super Bowl. And you know what? I'm getting a Rodgers-Brady NFC Championship at Lambeau. I think that's even better.
It's basically the same, if not better.
Yeah.
Hi,
Oh,
Bear.
Hi, Bear.
Hello.
Are you
Just
here?
in time for the picks.
Yeah.
Just in time for
Just
the
in
picks.
time. Who you got, Bucks or Packers?
Oh boy. Okay.
It's tough.
Man. I was literally just looking at my phone thinking about it.
Okay, here's some information that will also mind flood you. Invicta lock cursed the Packers, but Krendor also took the Packers and locked them.
Wow.
And Krendor claims that last year the curse was unsuccessful in the NFC Championship game.
Yep.
Which I don't know if he's telling me the truth, but I believe him.
Because I was like, Sinvicta, please lock the 49ers. And he did. And the 49ers shit on the Packers.
And you know what? Now. It's because you didn't pay me for it. So that's your fault.
I don't have to pay for anything.
See, I'm just saying there's a lot of magic at work here if that colors you.
I was going to say, like, that's a lot of good information. It's unfortunate, though, that for the most part, it just balances itself out. You know, like what you told me, there's equal contributions from one side and the other.
There's another aspect to this because we all know that the universe will not allow the State Farm Bowl to happen between Rodgers and Mahomes. It's not happening. Go Packers.
Oh, shit. You're right, man. All right. Well, you know what? Go Bucks.
Yeah,
he just wants the Brady Gronk to.
Yeah,
I
do.
Go Packers!
I want to see Brady get 7 in some fucking miraculous way. Man, I don't even know if you guys have touched on this, but I wanted to mention real quick just how insane it is to me the fact that we're still seeing Rodgers, Breeze, and Brady in the goddamn playoffs at this level of the playoffs. Like, holy shit!
Yeah. I mean, especially with guys like Mahomes in the league now, who's just like very clearly going to be really good for forever. Yeah, right. Yeah. Like loads of guys like that are just like they're going to be the next guys.
A lot of those are in the AFC, and we are seeing them. It's like Mahomes and Allen go at it. So it's just happens now, the NFC's got more of the old school quarterbacks now.
Now the NFC knows the hell of Tom Brady, or will, perhaps.
Oh my God, I saw a stat that Tom Brady now has as many wins in the playoffs against NFC teams as Drew Brees.
Playoffs?
Wow.
And that's because he played 6 of them in the Super Bowl and won. And then this year he's beaten 2, which puts him at 8, which is the same as Brees.
This is going to be the first ever AFC
win in the Super Bowl.
Which is why
he's going to lose. Yeah. And then my Packers-Bills Super Bowl will come to fruition.
I think there were some other stats with other like depressed teams that were like, Tom Brady got to the NFC Championship with the Bucks before the Lions.
All you need to know is that the Packers received my lock of the week. Go Pack! That's the only power that matters.
I'm excited for this game. It's going to be great.
They've got a really nice shot of Drew Brees' ass at the 2020 Pro Bowl on his Wikipedia page. I don't know if you guys knew that, but it's really nice.
I didn't know that.
No, I'm going to look this up now.
I am not going to look that up.
Right down there near like the middle of his page there in the 2020 season section. There you go. Just a nice big shot of his ass.
So, Bills
Chiefs. The ass is like center frame too, dude. There's like no way it's not a shot of his ass.
Bills Chiefs.
Yeah, I've got to get going. So
okay, my bad. Let's go with the Bucks then. And then let's see other side. I'm gonna take the fucking Chiefs. I gotta take the Chiefs.
I'm going
taking the Bills.
Bills.
Is Henny playing? Do we know?
No, Mahomes is expected to play, but they're calling it was a spinal nerve injury, not a concussion, because if they label it a concussion, he cannot play.
Oh
yeah.
He is not going to be at 100%.
No.
There was a tweet that was just like, oh yeah, the NFL, where it's just like, oh, thank God, it's not a concussion, it's just a fucking
it's only a spinal nerve injury. That's fine.
He'll be fine.
It's like, no, like your spine didn't get like the helmet around it and shoved into the ground. It was the head. Right on top of his friggin' head.
Yeah.
I mean, literally the week before, what's his name? Wolford with the Rams got his spine crushed in. They're like, it's a stinger, and he didn't even play.
He fractured his pinky on that one, so he's eligible to play just because we say so. I am going to be taking the Buffalo Bills on this one. I think the Chiefs are overestimating themselves, and I think that the Bills have proven at this point that they are hard-nosed, and even though their rushing attack is horrible, that defense, I think, is going to give Mahomes, if he is at 100%, which we already know he's not going to be, a huge problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, I'm going to be honest, like, it's not worth it. They've already got a ring, you know? Like, just don't make them play, because you could kill him. I feel
that's
like
your $1 billion player, dude.
Yeah, right. Like I mean,
he's got plenty of years left. Don't just rush him out for this.
You say that, but I mean, he took the classic fencing position out there after that. The DDT into the ground. So I don't know, man. I think that's gonna. This is okay.
They should not let him play.
I don't wish this on anybody, especially someone like Pat Mahomes. But I'm just saying, this does kind of feel like the start of something. This is the exact same type of thing that caused a B spiral to go down back after that one hit in the Cincinnati game. I'm just saying, hopefully this isn't going to be an omen of things to come, because I really like Pat Mahomes. But I think that they would be unwise to send him out there in this game after that kind of injury. I mean, the dude was out on his feet.
I feel like anybody with a voice like that is incapable of reaching A/B levels of egotism.
Yeah. Also, at least to my understanding, my limited understanding of CTE, like a singular concussion is not something that makes it like super, like you have CTE. It's actually more smaller hits that rattle your brain around over time. That's what causes the CTE, which in
it's
theory
not like this one helped.
No, exactly. It's not a good thing, don't get me wrong. But also, like, either way, like, it's just like, yeah, I mean, for all the reasons described before, I don't know. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think he should play. Like, they've already got a ring, like, they could go home this year, or hey, maybe fucking Henny.
I mean, Henny
something.
did fine. Henny did completely fine.
Yeah, fuck it. Do it with Henny too. Why not?
Yeah.
There's such a shitty part of me that's like, one ring.
Yeah, I know. Oh man, our quarterback having 6. Oh, isn't it great, Bear? It's so good. Yeah. I did actually ask Bear during the Saints game. I was like, "Is this really how it feels to have Brady on your team in the playoffs?" Because like after a certain turning point, there it was like they're going to win. Like the Bucs are actually going to win this game.
Yep. I don't know how confident you were at the beginning of the season that the Bucs were going to end up in the NFC Championship game. I had probably like over 50% confidence in that.
Wow. But you know this man more than I do, so better than I do.
It's Brady, dude. Yeah, it just happens.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of surprised myself. Yeah. Like I mean, I kind of, because it's Brady, but dude, it's just like
death taxes Brady in the championship game. Like it's 14 out of 20 seasons, man. It's fucking nuts.
It is wild. It's just I don't know what to.
There's a bizarro NFL out there in some parallel universe where there are guys with just like careers that have been altered in immense ways with the absence of a Tom Brady in their league.
Oh yeah,
like he has just dominated everything for so long, and we got like guys like Breeze and Rodgers and even Roethlisberger now, whose entire careers have almost been overshadowed by this one fucking dude.
Yeah,
Ridley's even can be thrown into that.
Yeah, and it gives people like a bad impression. Like people say like when Breeze went out, like everyone was saying only one ring, and people only say only one ring because Tom Brady exists.
Yeah,
that's it, just Tom Brady. Like,
meanwhile, Dan Marino cries on the sideline.
That's another guy who's like he didn't even play in the same fucking era, but you still don't even think about him anymore because of Brady.
Yeah.
There we go.
There it is. That's why the Green Bay Packers will win this week. Thank you for watching, everyone. Go Pack, go. Yeah.
Go Packers.
Your witchcraft doesn't work here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. It's going to be good. Packers, Bills, Super Bowl. I can't wait. And it's going to be
changing my pick last second from Chiefs to Bills.
Oh, shit!
Thank you. Yeah, Packers, Bills.
Oh, wait. I have to lock the Bills, obviously.
I'm also locking the Bills.
All right, the Bills. Packers, Bills, Super Bowl. Gonna be great. See you next week.
Oh, and also thank you for the things, the stats. They were great. The stat sheets. We didn't say anything about
Haven, Hipponora, thank you very much for the stat sheets. And also thank you to is it Jason? Who is it who does the cards? Yeah. Hang on. We can't end it yet because I didn't finish the it is Matthew Hidalgo, also known as Blue Vendetta. Thank you, Matthew, very much for doing all these free non-commissioned pieces of art.
Thank you very much. We should probably thank you more than we do.
Yeah, once our Patreon gets flowing, we'll give you a cut right out of Krendor's cut.
Seriously. Yeah, right out of my cut. Bye.
Bye.